FromSoft games. They're known for being the most difficult games around, and most likely the leading cause of broken controllers all over the globe. They're grounded in gritty combat system that focuses on analysing the enemy's attack pattern and striking at the right time, will make even the most skilled of players burst into fits of glorious rage. And a big part of this combat system are its ruthless boss fights, which grab you by the balls and put your resilience to the test. These gauntlets of pure agony are usually served by the most foul and tarnished looking of creatures. And Elden Ring has a shit ton of these bastards, 165 of them. Now that's a lot of pain and misery right there. Let's make some more. Now Elden Ring has 3 types of boss designs. Got your human boss, which is usually a big armoured prick that travels either by foot or by horseback. Got your beast boss, which includes all of the dragons and all of the 4-legged monsters that somehow always manage to find a way to wield a sword. And lastly, you've got the humanoid boss, which is the one that you will encounter the most. They're typically described as emaciated bipedal creatures with some kind of weapon. So after going through Elden Ring's bestiary, I discovered a severe lack of sea creatures. I mean, you've got giant crab, giant lobster, the thing that you'll find clogging the shower drain, and cockroach king. And so, we're going to make a sea creature of our own. Now before we continue, I must inform you that I accidentally misplaced most of the footage that I recorded for this video, but we'll manage. Now the concept for this design is a simple one. Big dude with big barnacles on his back and 2 tiny dudes on his shoulders. The tiny dudes rip the barnacles with their mouths and spit them at the player. Now to address the elephant that ain't in the room. Why the shark? Well, originally I was going to make something a bit more like the CW's King Shark, but then I thought it would be a bit too outlandish. But then again, this is a game where eagles have katanas for feet, and there's murderous pots that will kill you in your sleep and go after your whole entire bloodline. Point being, Elden Ring has some pretty wacky designs. So in the end, I took the Kamijira route, which was an easier decision compared to the clothing. Since our character comes from the deep sea, his clothing will have to withstand the pressure from the depths, so his armor will probably be a mixture of metal alloy and coral. This information is pretty useful when it comes to sound design. The swing from a sword will probably sound like metal hitting limestone. And to convey a pre-existing culture, I engraved some deep sea creatures onto its armor, alongside that big coat of fur, which I may have stolen from the Vikings. And finally, got the weapon, which speaks for itself. It's an ice trident, shoots ice. Now a boss fight wouldn't be a boss fight without some signature moves, especially in FromSoft games, where a slow and heavy combat system is the bulk of their DNA. Introducing some unpredictable moves to their boss fights will help spice things up a bit. Now our character will have a mixture of long range and close range attacks. We've already went through one of the long range attacks, being the barnacle projectiles, but this attack will have a partnering one. Let me explain. So while the little dudes are shooting barnacles at the player, the big guy will be charging an ice attack. This ice attack will look like 3 shark fins that will travel through the ground and circle the player, just like real sharks. These shark fins will then attack the player from the side. This way the player will have to deal with the barnacles from the front and the shark fins from the side. You'll be able to dodge these attacks by dodging diagonally, or just jump over the whole thing with turrets. But the real fight starts once you're near the boss, where it's up close and bloody. Now our boss will try and hit you with some trident swings and impalement, and even the occasional tail whip. But FromSoft love their unpredictably long combos, so once in a while our boss will extend the 3-hit combo with a side flip over the player, building up ice magic, releasing it once it hits the ground, giving you a good amount of frost. And if that wasn't enough, they'll start stabbing the ground, giving you even more frost damage, and then finish it all off with a tail whip. Now if you manage to survive all of that, you might want to heal yourself, but this will trigger another attack. The boss will rush at you and grab you with its shark, dealing you heavy damage. But if you manage to circle around, you'll get rewarded with a visceral attack, and then you can just start wailing at him from the side or from the back. But you might not want to stay there too long, otherwise he'll get tail whipped. Now before we reach the end, we've got a bonus character, which unfortunately I've lost all the footage for, but I've made you a nice little montage. So this one goes like this. Imagine that the creator of these beautiful abominations got inspired by the tales of Melania, Blade of Mikola. He would hear about this one-armed red-headed woman which would defeat all enemies with an undodgeable bullshit attack. I mean, a graceful flurry of slashes. And you know how tales, as they go from mouth to mouth, they have the tendency of adding additional details that weren't in the original version? Well, by the time this tale reached the creator's ears, Melania had 6 arms and wielded 6 swords. And to have some consistency in the creator's creepy factor, I gave her a nice creepy doll dress. And also, she spins her head around and spits fire. Subscribe for more.